Hey guys, Jamie O'Brien with O'Brien Homes. This is going to be the second video walking through the numbers of our latest BRRRR property that we're working on here in the Birmingham area. So I just wanted to dig into the numbers real quick, give you an overview of why I think this BRRRR strategy is so effective at building wealth quickly and repetitively. So this house we're working on, we bought for $36,000. We bought it from a wholesaler. I usually don't buy properties from wholesalers. I'd like to. I'd like to buy more. In my market, I don't tend to see many that make a whole lot of sense, but this one had been out there for a little while, and we were able to make it work. So $36,000 cost me about 900 or so dollars to close, a little bit more than I would have liked, but hey, it is what it is. Cost of money. So ended up being a good deal. Wholesaler is a friend of mine. He made some money, and we've got a great property that I'm excited about. So what we did is we walked this property before I made the offer, and you get to a point when you've done this enough where you can estimate what repairs are going to cost. So we knew the house needed a new roof, a new HVAC, it needed the electrical updated, it needed all new paint, it needed to be trashed out, new flooring, the bathroom needs to be gutted, the kitchen needs a little bit of work on the cabinets, the countertop, possibly a new sink. What else? We're going to paint the outside, need some landscaping. But overall, it really was just an update job. So we're doing all new fixtures, doorknobs, interior, exterior doors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, replacing some window panes in the house. So all in, I expected this to cost us about $30,000. What I like to do is I'll order all the materials that I know we're going to need from Home Depot. If you have an order over $1,200, I believe it is, you can call the Pro Desk, actually get a discount. This discount ended up being about 5%, 3.5% to 5%, somewhere in that range. So it ended up being a great deal. So $30,000 for the rehab, if you're keeping up with me, that puts us at $66,000 all in on this property, right? No, not right. So we actually have private lenders that we use for these deals. This is why this becomes so powerful. So we have two private lenders on this deal. One is funding the purchase of the property. The second one's funding the rehab. We pay them 10% annualized, and we have to hold this property for 6 months. So on a BRRRR, you pay cash. You're going to rent it or rehab it. You're going to rent it out. You're going to refinance it, and hopefully you're going to repeat that process. So in order to refinance, you have to wait 6 months before the bank will let you refinance out of this property. So my lending money, I mean, if you look at my money cost is going to be somewhere in the $1,800 or $3,800 range, right? So you got to factor that in. We're going to have holding costs. You've got startup costs for water, for electricity. You're going to have pay those utilities for a few months. But here's where it really becomes powerful: is we expect this process to take about 1 month to finish the rehab. Let's just say it takes us another month to rent the property. And so we're 2 months in out of the 6 months. That gives us 4 months that we're going to be cash flowing on this property, even with private lenders. Sure, the cash flow isn't going to be great, but it's going to pay our money costs. It's going to pay our utilities, going to be taken over by the tenant. So it's really going to start to profit almost immediately. Why? Because we have $0 in this deal because we use private lenders. So it's an infinite return on investment right away. So here's where it becomes really powerful. So I think this house will appraise somewhere in the $120,000 range. That's what I'm guessing. Maybe 100 is where I think this house is going to appraise at. It's in a really good at the front of a really good neighborhood. There's some really nice new houses behind it. I think when we freshen it up, it should appraise at that $120,000 range. So what I'm going to be able to do is go back to the bank. The bank will lend me 75% of the loan to value. So they'll come out, they'll do an appraisal. You'll say, hey, your house is worth, let's just say it's $100,000. They will give me a loan on that house for $75,000. So essentially, I'm going to be able to take that loan, pay off all of my debts to my private lenders, and actually put a little money in my pocket, a few $1,000s in my pocket if I wanted to, and have $0 in this property and still be cash flowing. This one I'll cash flow somewhere around $150 a month after I take into account my money costs, my taxes, my insurance, my reserves. It's going to be a brand new house, so the reserves are going to be lower, probably about 20%, 25% with property management on this house. We can dig into that. I think it'll rent for somewhere in the $900 to $1,000 range. So quick math, my money cost for the mortgage, taxes, and insurance will be somewhere around $500, 450. My 25% of that will obviously be $250. Um, and so if we get $1,000 a month, I'll actually be cash flowing somewhere in the 200 to 250 or 200 to $250 range per month. This is why I love this strategy. I have $0 in this property, right? Private lenders to pay for it. They're going to earn a great interest on their money. I can refinance with a traditional mortgage through a bank or a commercial loan, depending what your situation is. Someone's going to rent it, and I'm essentially going to be making money on zero money. It's an infinite return on investment. So yeah, maybe I'm only making $100, $125 on this a month after reserves and everything else, but it's free money. Get out there and find one of these. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. You can find me on Facebook, O'Brien Homes, on Instagram, O'Brien Homes as well. I'm happy to try and help answer any questions you have. Get out there, get busy, seize the day.